People of Jamaica, distinguished citizens of that proud and storied nation, I greet you in the spirit of friendship, of respect, and of shared history. From the heart of West Africa, from the land of Burkina Faso, I speak to you today not only as a head of state, but as a man who believes in the unbreakable connection between our peoples, a connection born in history, strengthened in struggle, and now renewed in purpose. Today, in this year 2025, I am honored to announce that the Republic of Burkina Faso has decided that citizens of Jamaica shall henceforth enter our country without the requirement of a visa. This decision is effective immediately. You, the people of Jamaica, may now travel freely to Burkina Faso without the fees or bureaucratic barriers that have too often stood between us. This announcement is more than an administrative reform. It is a declaration of recognition, an affirmation that the time has come to renew the bonds between Africa and Jamaica, between the continent and the Caribbean, between two peoples who share not only ancestry, but a profound and enduring destiny. For centuries, oceans and empires have tried to separate us. The Atlantic, once a passage of pain, carried millions of Africans from their homeland to unknown shores. Among those distant lands, Jamaica became one of the brightest lights, a land where resilience overcame despair, where culture became a weapon of survival, and where freedom was not given, but won. From the early Maroons who refused enslavement, to the thinkers and artists who reshaped the consciousness of the modern world, the people of Jamaica have embodied courage and creativity that inspire all of us. When I speak of Jamaica, I speak of a nation that stands tall, proud of its heritage, rich in its contribution to humanity, and deeply connected to the soul of Africa. It is for this reason that Burkina Faso opens its doors to you. We do so with respect, with sincerity, and with a sense of historical duty. We do so because we recognize that the children of Africa are not confined to the continent's borders. They live in Kingston and Montego Bay, in Portmore and Negril, carrying within them the same ancestral spirit that beats in the heart of the Sahel. Our decision, therefore, is not an act of generosity, but of reunion. We are not offering hospitality to foreigners. We are welcoming partners, equals, and participants in a shared vision of renewal. We are inviting the people of Jamaica to walk upon African soil not as guests, but as collaborators in shaping a new relationship between the continent and its diaspora, one built on dignity, mutual respect, and shared progress. In the past, policies have divided the human family into categories: citizens, migrants, visitors, aliens. But history reminds us that these categories are temporary, while kinship endures. The purpose of this decision is to make movement between Africa and the Caribbean easier, freer, and more reflective of the unity that already exists in spirit. Burkina Faso today stands at a turning point. We are a nation undergoing transformation politically, culturally, and economically. We face challenges that are real and grave: the struggle for security, the effort to protect our sovereignty, and the work of building an independent future free from external domination. Yet, even in the midst of these trials, we choose openness, we choose engagement, we choose connection. This is because we understand that isolation is weakness and solidarity is strength. Our destiny as Africans on the continent and in the diaspora is intertwined. The prosperity of one strengthens the other. The awakening of one inspires the rest. When Jamaica advances, Africa rejoices. When Africa rises, Jamaica's heart beats with it. The removal of visa requirements for Jamaican citizens represents a small but powerful symbol of that understanding. It tells the world that Africa no longer wishes to turn inward, but to reach outward to its extended family across the ocean. It also tells our own people that openness is not a threat but a source of renewal, that by welcoming others, we enrich ourselves. We have studied Jamaica's journey with admiration, a small island by geography, yet vast in cultural influence, a nation whose people have shaped music, thought, and identity for the world. Reggae, born on your shores, speaks the universal language of liberation. Rastafari, born in your hills, carried Africa into the consciousness of generations who had been taught to forget it. The courage of your ancestors who rose against enslavement still resonates in every village of this continent. In every era, Jamaica has reminded humanity of the power of self-belief. That lesson is one Burkina Faso takes to heart. We too are engaged in a struggle for sovereignty, a struggle to define our own path, to protect our people, and to rebuild our nation from the ruins of dependency and interference. It is not an easy road, but like the people of Jamaica, we understand that dignity has no price and freedom has no substitute. It is within this shared philosophy that we extend our hand. We wish not only to open borders, but to open opportunities. Our government will work with Jamaica's institutions to create avenues for exchange in education, agriculture, technology, and culture. We will welcome Jamaican students to study in our universities, and we will encourage Burkina-based students to learn from Jamaica's renowned centers of excellence. We will explore cultural cooperation in music, film, heritage preservation, so that our young people can rediscover one another through art, language, and shared creativity. The future we seek is one in which Africa and the Caribbean stand not as spectators in the global order, but as architects of their own destiny. A future in which the voices of our peoples are not filtered through foreign intermediaries, but heard directly, clearly, and proudly. We know that this path will demand patience and wisdom. It will require the kind of steadfastness that both our nations have demonstrated in their histories. But every journey begins with a single step, and this visa decision is one such step. A step toward a time when travel between our regions will be as natural as the flow of ideas and music that already unite us. Some will ask, what does Burkina Faso gain? The answer is simple. We gain friendship, understanding, and the enrichment that comes from human exchange. We gain the privilege of welcoming a people whose history is inseparable from ours. We gain the chance to show the world that Africa's future lies not in isolation, but in reconnection with her global family. Others may question whether we can afford such openness. I say we cannot afford not to. In a world increasingly defined by division and fear, those who build bridges will lead the way forward. Those who close themselves off will be left behind. The 21st century will belong to those who understand that humanity's progress depends on cooperation, not competition. Jamaica and Burkina Faso may differ in geography, but we are alike in spirit. Both of our nations were born in resistance. Both cherish independence not as a slogan, but as a way of life. Both understand that true strength lies not in size, but in the integrity of one's convictions. As president of Burkina Faso, I have often said that our revolution is not merely political. It is moral. It is a revolution of dignity, the refusal to accept humiliation, the insistence on self-determination. I see that same spirit in the people of Jamaica. Your poets, your musicians, your athletes, your citizens, they all carry themselves with the confidence of a people who know their worth. That confidence is the foundation of development. No nation can rise without pride in its identity, and no partnership can succeed without mutual respect. In that regard, the relationship between Burkina Faso and Jamaica will be one of equals, guided by respect for each other's sovereignty, culture, and values. In the months ahead, we will formalize this partnership through cooperation agreements in tourism, culture, and youth development. We envision a corridor of collaboration, a living bridge of ideas and opportunities between Ouagadougou and Kingston. Our tourism sector, rich in heritage and natural beauty, will be open to Jamaican investors and travelers. Our cultural institutions will welcome collaboration with Jamaican artists and educators. Together, we can show the world that Africa and the Caribbean are not separate civilizations, but two halves of the same soul. I want the people of Jamaica to know that you will be received in Burkina Faso with honor. You will find a nation that, though modest in resources, is rich in warmth and spirit. Our markets, our music, our traditions, all reflect a people who understand hospitality as a duty, not a courtesy. We hope that Jamaicans who visit our country will see not only the land, but the possibility of renewed connection, of shared enterprise, of a future built together. This is an invitation not only for tourism but for partnership. We invite Jamaican entrepreneurs to explore opportunities in renewable energy, agriculture, and cultural industries. We invite Jamaican educators and students to collaborate with our universities. We invite your government, your institutions, and your civil society to see in Burkina Faso a reliable partner in building South-South cooperation for the modern age. Let us show the world that the spirit of Bandung, the spirit of solidarity among nations of the Global South, is alive and well in 2025. Let us demonstrate that independence is not isolation, but interdependence on our own terms. In this vision, I am inspired by Jamaica's own national motto, "Out of many, one people." It is a phrase that resonates deeply with us. For out of many histories, out of many struggles, out of many dreams, we too in Burkina Faso strive to be one people, united in purpose, determined in spirit, and faithful to our heritage. Our late revolutionary leader, Captain Thomas Sankara, once said that we must dare to invent the future. Today, as we open our doors to Jamaica, we dare to invent a future of global African unity, not in rhetoric, but in reality. Sankara believed that solidarity between Africa and the Caribbean was essential to the liberation of both. His words still echo today, and it is in that spirit that I stand before you. People of Jamaica, I thank you for the inspiration your nation has given to the world, the inspiration of resistance, of creativity, of unbroken faith in freedom. You have shown that a small island can possess a mighty voice, and Burkina Faso, though landlocked, shares that conviction. That destiny is written not by size or wealth, but by courage and conviction. As you consider visiting our country, know that you will find not only a nation, but a story that complements your own. A people striving, as you do, to define their path with dignity. You will see in our youth the same hunger for opportunity, in our elders the same wisdom of perseverance, in our culture the same belief in the redemptive power of song, rhythm, and faith. When a Jamaican walks through the streets of Ouagadougou, when you listen to the balafon or the talking drum, when you see our children dancing under the sun, you will not feel estranged. You will recognize something familiar, the pulse of a shared humanity, the echo of a history that refused to die. Let the Atlantic, once a barrier, now be a bridge. Let this decision be a small but meaningful contribution to the larger work of healing the wounds of history. Let it stand as proof that nations can act not only in their own interest, but in the interest of memory, justice, and unity. I know that many Jamaicans have long dreamed of setting foot on African soil not as tourists alone, but as participants in a long-awaited reunion. To those citizens, I say, the doors of Burkina Faso are open. You are welcome to visit, to invest, to collaborate, to learn, and to teach. You are welcome to walk our streets, to hear our languages, to experience our traditions, and to share yours in return. Let the next generation of Jamaicans in Burkina grow up knowing each other not through books or screens, but through real friendship. Let them see that our connection is not a myth, but a living truth. This is the spirit in which I make this announcement, not as a transaction between governments, but as a statement of faith in the unity of our destinies. As I close, allow me to express once again my profound respect for the people of Jamaica. You have shown the world that identity and independence can coexist with openness and creativity. You have turned pain into poetry, hardship into rhythm, and history into hope. For that, Africa salutes you, and Burkina Faso welcomes you. May this new chapter mark the beginning of deeper cooperation, greater understanding, and lasting friendship between our nations. May it remind all people of African descent, wherever they live, that their strength lies in connection, not division. And may the day come when Africa and the Caribbean together stand as one voice in the concert of nations, a voice that speaks of justice, peace, and the indomitable power of the human spirit. From Ouagadougou to Kingston, from the heart of Africa to the heart of the Caribbean, may our friendship endure. Thank you, and may the Almighty bless the people of Jamaica, and may He bless the people of Burkina Faso.